Los Angeles, 1947, a city basking in the glow of post-war prosperity, where dreams were as plentiful as the sunshine. The streets were alive with the hustle and bustle of a burgeoning metropolis, a place where anything seemed possible. The city, shimmering with post-war optimism, would soon be gripped by a crime so horrific that it would forever stain its sunny facade. The vibrant streets, filled with hopeful faces and the promise of a bright future, would soon be overshadowed by a dark and sinister event. On a seemingly ordinary morning, January 15th, a discovery would send shockwaves through the city and beyond. The day began like any other, with residents going about their daily routines, unaware that their lives were about to be irrevocably changed. Betty Bersinger, a local resident, was walking with her young daughter when a chilling sight stopped them in their tracks. What began as a routine stroll through their neighborhood quickly turned into a nightmare that would haunt them forever. In a vacant lot lay the body of a young woman. The scene was eerily quiet, the air thick with an unsettling stillness. The discovery was not just a tragedy, but a grotesque tableau that spoke of unimaginable cruelty. The scene was not merely one of death, but of deliberate, calculated brutality. The body had been meticulously arranged as if the perpetrator wanted to send a message to leave an indelible mark on the collective psyche of the city. The body was severed at the waist, drained of blood and posed with a chilling precision. This was no ordinary crime. It was a macabre display of human depravity, a scene that would haunt the memories of those who witnessed it. The victim was quickly identified as 22-year-old Elizabeth Short, an aspiring actress who had come to Hollywood seeking fame, only to meet a gruesome end. Elizabeth, known to her friends as the Black Dahlia, had dreams of making it big in the movie industry, but her life was cut tragically short. The press, hungry for a story, latched onto the case, and the investigation into Elizabeth Short's murder, a case that would become synonymous with Hollywood's dark underbelly, began. Reporters from across the country descended upon Los Angeles, each one eager to uncover the sordid details of the Black Dahlia's life and death. The media frenzy turned the case into a national sensation, with every new revelation splashed across the front pages of newspapers. The investigation would uncover a web of intrigue, deceit, and corruption, painting a grim picture of the city that had promised so much to so many. As the search for the killer intensified, the Black Dahlia case would come to symbolize the darker side of the American dream, a haunting reminder that beneath the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, there lurked a shadowy world of danger and despair. The brutal murder of Elizabeth Short sent ripples of fear and fascination through Los Angeles. It was a city already known for its glitz and glamour, but also for its dark underbelly. The contrast between the city's bright lights and the gruesome crime scene was stark, making the case all the more compelling. The press, sensing a story that would captivate the nation, went into overdrive. Journalists scrambled to uncover every detail, every rumor, and every possible lead. The newsroom buzzed with activity as reporters typed furiously, phones rang incessantly, and editors shouted orders. The race to break the next big headline was on. The young, beautiful victim, the gruesome nature of the crime, and the mystery surrounding it were tailor-made for headlines. Elizabeth Short, with her striking looks and tragic end, became an instant media sensation. Her life, though cut short, was dissected and analyzed, with every aspect of her existence becoming fodder for the press. Newspapers dubbed Elizabeth Short the Black Dahlia, a nickname that, while rooted in speculation and sensationalism, would forever be linked to the case. The moniker added an air of mystery and allure, transforming the tragic story into a legend. The name itself evoked images of dark beauty and fatal intrigue. Theories about the moniker's origin vary. Some say it was inspired by Short's striking appearance and her preference for wearing black clothing, which made her stand out in a crowd. Others believe it was a nod to a popular film noir of the time, The Blue Dahlia, which featured a murdered woman and had captivated audiences with its dark, suspenseful narrative. Some attribute it to Short's penchant for wearing black clothing, which gave her an air of mystery and sophistication. Her fashion choices, combined with her enigmatic personality, made her a figure of fascination even before her untimely death. While others believe it stemmed from a popular film noir of the time, The Blue Dahlia, which featured a murdered woman. The film's dark themes and suspenseful plot resonated with the public, and the connection to Elizabeth Short's case seemed almost poetic. Whatever its origins, the name Black Dahlia stuck. It became a symbol of the case, encapsulating the mystery and horror that surrounded Elizabeth Short's death. The nickname was repeated in headlines. whispered in conversations, and etched into the collective memory of the nation. It captured the imagination of the public, turning Elizabeth Short into a tragic icon, and her murder into a macabre spectacle. People from all walks of life were drawn to the story, eager to learn more about the woman behind the headlines and the circumstances of her death. The media frenzy surrounding the Black Dahlia case was unprecedented. Reporters hounded police officers, interviewed anyone who had known Short, and speculated wildly about potential suspects. The intense coverage kept the case in the public eye, ensuring that it remained a topic of conversation for months, even years to come. Newspapers published sensationalized accounts of Short's life and death, often blurring the lines between fact and fiction. Stories of her alleged romances, her dreams of Hollywood stardom, and her tragic end were embellished and exaggerated, creating a narrative that was as compelling as it was tragic. The case became a national obsession, with everyone from armchair detectives to seasoned investigators trying to decipher the mystery of the Black Dahlia. Theories abounded, suspects were scrutinized, and the search for the truth became a collective endeavor. Yet despite the intense scrutiny, the case remained unsolved, leaving behind a legacy of intrigue and unanswered questions. The Los Angeles Police Department, faced with immense pressure to solve the case, launched a full-scale investigation. The crime scene, however, yielded few clues. The killer had meticulously cleaned the area, leaving behind little to no physical evidence. Despite the lack of forensic evidence, investigators pursued every lead, interviewing hundreds of individuals and chasing down countless dead ends. The sheer brutality of the crime suggested a personal motive, leading detectives to delve into Elizabeth Short's past, searching for clues in her relationships and movements in the weeks leading up to her death. The FBI was called in to assist, bringing their expertise and resources to bear on the case. They employed then cutting-edge technology, including fingerprint analysis and early forms of forensic photography, to identify Elizabeth Short and build a timeline of her final days. As the investigation dragged on, a name surfaced that would become central to the Black Dahlia case: Dr. George Hodel. Hodel was a man of many faces, a prominent physician in Los Angeles during the 1940s, known for his intelligence and charm. However, beneath this respectable exterior lay a labyrinth of secrets and dark inclinations that would eventually cast a long shadow over his legacy. A prominent physician, Hodel seemed an unlikely suspect, yet a closer look at his life revealed a dark side. He was a man who thrived in the shadows, his life marked by scandal and controversy. His medical career was impressive, but it was his personal life that drew the most attention. Hodel's relationships were tumultuous, and his behavior often erratic, leading many to question his true nature. Hodel's own daughter accused him of sexual abuse, a claim that sent shockwaves through their family and the community. This accusation was not just a fleeting moment of familial discord, but a serious allegation that painted Hodel in a sinister light. His daughter's claims were detailed and disturbing, suggesting a pattern of predatory behavior that could not be easily dismissed, and his interest in art and photography, particularly surrealism and dismemberment, raised red flags. Hodel was fascinated by the macabre, often immersing himself in the darker aspects of art. His collection included surrealist works that depicted dismemberment and other grotesque themes, which seemed to mirror the horrific nature of the Black Dahlia murder. This eerie parallel between his artistic interest and the crime itself was too significant to ignore. Adding to the suspicion, Hodel's handwriting bore a striking resemblance to that of the mysterious note sent to the police claiming responsibility for Short's murder. Handwriting experts analyzed the note and found similarities that were hard to overlook. This piece of evidence, while circumstantial, added another layer to the growing case against Hodel. It suggested a direct link between him and the crime, further entangling him in the web of suspicion. Fueling the theory further, Hodel had lived in the Sowden House, a striking architectural landmark in Los Angeles, during the time of the murder. The house itself was a character in this dark tale, with its imposing structure and eerie ambiance. Designed by Lloyd Wright, the Sowden House was known for its unique and somewhat unsettling architecture, which seemed to reflect the enigmatic nature of its most infamous resident. The house's unusual design, with its dark corridors and hidden rooms, led some to believe it could have been the site of Short's murder and dismemberment. The labyrinthine layout of the Sowden House, with its secret passages and concealed spaces, provided the perfect setting for such a heinous crime. This theory, while speculative, added a chilling dimension to the case, suggesting that the very walls of Hodell's home could hold the secrets to one of the most infamous murders in American history. In his quest for answers, Steve Hodell, a former LAPD detective, dives deep into the shadows of his father's past. Determined to uncover the truth, he meticulously examines old case files, photographs, and personal letters. The deeper he delves, the more he begins to see connections that others might have missed. His relentless pursuit leads him to startling revelations, challenging everything he thought he knew. With each discovery, he edges closer to solving one of the most infamous mysteries of the 20th century. Steve's journey is not just about finding answers, but also about confronting the haunting legacy of his own family. The investigation was a labyrinth, filled with twists and turns at every corner. Each clue seemed to lead to more questions rather than answers. As the detectives delved deeper, the complexity of the case became more apparent. It was like trying to piece together a puzzle with missing pieces, leaving everyone involved feeling a sense of frustration and urgency. In their quest for answers, the team began exploring potential connections. They looked into every possible lead, no matter how insignificant it seemed. Relationships, past events, and even seemingly unrelated incidents were all scrutinized. The hope was that somewhere, amidst all the data, there would be a thread that could unravel the mystery. This case was not just another entry in the annals of unsolved mysteries, it carried a legacy of intrigue. The story had been passed down, whispered about, and speculated on for years. Each generation added its own layer of myth and speculation, making the truth even harder to uncover. The weight of this legacy hung over the investigation, adding both pressure and a sense of duty to those involved. The impact of the unsolved case was profound. It left a mark on the community, a lingering sense of unease and curiosity. For the investigators, it was a reminder of the limits of their abilities and the complexities of the human condition. The case remained open, a symbol of the mysteries that still elude us, and a testament to the enduring quest for truth.